Hello everyone! It's a beautiful day outside and I'm heading out to one of my favorite places in the world and also I got some exciting news, so why don't you tag along? Okay, so the place that we're going to is actually an old castle. It was built by the royal family of Sweden, but now it's owned by the city of Helsingborg.
And that means it's open to the public. Originally, the place was an old farm, but in the year 1864, Oscar II and his wife, Sophia of Nassau, purchased the ground. 2 years later, they could move into their new summer home, which they gave the name Sofiero, Ro meaning tranquil. In the year 1905, Oscar granted Sofiero to their grandson Gustav VI Adolf when he married Margaret of Connaught from Great Britain. Margaret was very much interested in gardening, so she laid down the groundwork for the castle's new garden. Unfortunately, Margaret died in the year 1920 and Gustav got remarried to Louise Mountbatten, but Louise also had a big heart for gardening, so she began to collect rhododendron bushes from all over the world. 1959, when King Gustav died, he gave his beloved Sofiero with its beautiful garden to the city of Helsingborg. But now, over to the news that I want to share with you. What you are watching right now is my new music and philosophy YouTube show. And this is the introduction episode for what is to come.
So welcome everyone to the very first episode of Sound and Sophia. So this is why I love this place so much. All these rhododendron bushes. Just imagine what it's gonna look like in May when they're all bloom. So firstly, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Pelle Waldemarson and I'm a musician, first and foremost, but I'm also a very big philosophy enthusiast. So that is why I started this YouTube channel. So this YouTube channel is mainly going to be about philosophy and music, basically. That's why it's called Sound and Sophia. So the reason why I actually wanted to start this channel is that I honestly believe that there's a hole in most people's education, and that is philosophy. I mean, I can remember back in the day when I was in school, we basically didn't have any typical kind of philosophy education. Well, I've been having an idea to start something like this for a very long time. At first, I was thinking about maybe start a podcast, but I mean, there's already so many good podcasts out there about philosophy, and I thought this would be a kind of fun way, also get the visual part of it. So the plan is actually to travel around where these philosophers and musicians have been active. So actually the philosopher that I'm going to begin with is no other than the father of existentialism, Søren Kierkegaard.
Søren Kierkegaard was a Danish philosopher and theologist who lived in Copenhagen during the first half of the 19th century. The reason why I'm starting with him is that Copenhagen is very close to where I live, and also he created a very big movement in philosophy that I am very fond of, namely existentialism. My goal here is to dig really deep in both his life and his philosophy, and also visit places where he lived and worked.
I'm basically done with the reading of Kierkegaard. I've read about 6 books or so, and I'm almost done with his diary at the moment. So I should be ready to start recording the episodes very soon. Well, but unfortunately, well, you guys all know about it, the coronavirus, and I live in Sweden, and Denmark is still another country. So we'll see. Maybe I'll record the first episode in Sweden. We'll see about that, but I would really love to go to Denmark and record there.
So let's hope that the pandemic will end as soon as possible so that I can begin the recording. I am super excited to share everything I've read with all of you.
So I think actually I gotta come back here in May when everything is blooming. I think you would love to see that. And also thinking about maybe making this the Sound and Sophia's home. So I'll return here whenever we're switching over to a new musician or philosopher. Well, so this show will involve a lot of traveling. So I actually created a Patreon page where you can support me if you think this is a good idea. So we'll begin with Kierkegaard, and then we'll see what happens next. So if you think this is a cool thing, I mean, consider subscribing. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back home and finish up the reading on Kierkegaard and start planning the very first episode, the first real episode of Sound and Sophia. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.